Hi guys, my name is Cody McLean and I'll be presenting my research on the effect mindset has on academic confidence. So some background information you might need to know. Learned helplessness is defined as the constant feeling of you're not good enough or you don't feel like you can complete a task right. An example of this would be when you're in a math class and you're not seeming to do so well, but no one's really encouraging to do otherwise, and you develop maybe even test anxiety. Learned optimism is actually the exact opposite. It's where you're trying to think of the brighter side, or looking on the bright side of life, as some of us might say. Academic confidence, on the other hand, is exactly what it sounds like. It's the confidence you get while you're in academics, whether it's during homework, or a test, or just even studying. So let's get into some lit reviews. So for my first lit review, we're going to look at Akofka, who did a cross-sectional study investigating the relationship between test anxiety and learned helplessness. The study was done on 708 students who were asked to do 2 questionnaires measuring the amount of anxiety of each student and the amount of learned helplessness. The study showed no significance. However, Akofka did say that there needed to be more research. For my second lit review, we're going to look at Singh and Jha, who in 2013 performed a cross-sectional study investigating the relationship between anxiety, optimism, and academic achievement. The study was done on 346 students who were asked to do 2 questionnaires measuring the amount of anxiety and optimism in each student, and were also asked to present their 3rd and 4th quarter grade reports so they could measure the amount of academic achievement. So what the study showed was that there is a positive and negative significance found. The positive significance was between optimism and academic achievement, while the negative significance was found between anxiety and optimism, as well as anxiety and academic achievement. So now for the present study. The present study was an experiment which came up with 2 different hypotheses. The first one was that learned optimism scores on the anagrams being done would be higher than those of the learned helplessness. The second one was that learned optimism, like the people who went through the learned optimism activity, would score higher on the academic achievements than the learned helplessness. So demographics. For my study, the participants were actually 40 Culver Stockton students aged 19 to 27. However, one had to be dropped just due to their previous knowledge of the subject, which kind of clouded their judgment, so they couldn't really perform the activity right. We recruited the students verbally and through sign-up sheets, as well as some of us just got together and we did it on hand pieces of paper. So what we found was that the majority were female at 77%, they Caucasian 90%, juniors at 44%, Greek life at 51%, and non-athlete at 52%. So for the procedure. The study was done in many group sessions where the students would come into basically a computer room, sit at a computer, and wait for me to pass out the consent forms. So the consent forms were basically just saying what the study was, and if they ever wanted to drop out, just let me know and I would take care of it. So the anagrams were split up into time 1 and time 2. Time 1 anagrams were different. So we had the really easy ones that put the students in the mindset of learned optimism, and then we had the other anagram which put students in a learned helplessness mindset. Then for time 2, we had both groups take the same amount or the same anagram, which is like a medium to medium hard difficulty. The time 2 anagram would then be used to measure like how well they did on the anagrams for each group. So then we had them do a survey, which was a 5-point bipolar adjective scale, which had 24 questions like how confident are you that you're going to show up on time to class and stuff like that. After they were done with this, they were debriefed. basically telling them what the study was again, but then explaining more of what learned helplessness was, what learned optimism was, and then just kind of told them the hypotheses. Also told them if they needed help, I gave them the contact information if they were, experiencing any troubles. So for confidentiality, everybody was confidential. Everybody was given a number, which they would be recognized. We would not put any names with any scores or anything like that. So what we found? Was that there is no significance. The probability values for both the anagram to the mindset as well as the confidence to the mindset were above 0.05. So discussion. Purpose was to see the effect mindset can have on academic confidence. What we found was this did not support either of our hypotheses. So for some limitations, one of the ones that was a big limitation was the anagram strength. We did not have strong enough anagrams to put the participants in the correct mindset. Also, we feel like we should have explained a little bit more of what learned mindset and learned helplessness was, just because the participants really didn't know what they were doing, so I feel like it kind of didn't allow them to get put in that mindset as well. Also, organization of the study times was really crucial. We had people walking in and out during the study, which caused a distraction, which also didn't help with putting them in that mindset. For future research, we think we should change the design to a longitudinal. Longitudinal would let researchers gather information over a long stretch of time. That way we can actually see the highs and lows of both learned helplessness and learned optimism. Also, we think another activity would be useful when conducting this and getting them in the mindset, as the anagrams we don't think are strong enough. So I don't know if we should make them watch videos, but just another activity to help really set in that mindset. Also, we should study underlying factors, because like anxiety, depression, test anxiety, of course, these all seem to have, a play in what was going on. So the summary, as said before, the results did not confirm the hypothesis and did not match the results found by previous research. This is relevant as a study, we can help students if we find that there is a significance found between one of these two mindsets. Because if students are constantly feeling like they're not good enough, this could explain why they're not doing good in school. So, anyway, thank you for listening.